Yeah, greetings and welcome. So yeah, the last video got kind of cut off abruptly, so I'm just going to continue from there where I left off. John 8:44 is going to be my next verse. It says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." So yeah, then let's see, murder and liar. Yeah, so he's called a lot of things here. He's called a murderer from the beginning. Abode not in the truth. There's no truth in him. He's a liar. Just a sinner. And he says, "You are of your father the devil." So he's referring. Basically, if you're not saved, and he's specifically talking to the Pharisees here. So that's pretty heavy insult to say. You are of your father the devil. Like it doesn't really get worse than that. So you're of your father the devil. And it's like there's no truth in him. He speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. So you're not speaking of God, you're speaking of the devil. And so Christians can do that too. Like they could be giving you some advice and it's not from God, it's from the devil. Sometimes Christians do that. They think they're giving well-meaning advice. And so, I mean, sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it sounds like good advice, sounds like good Christian advice, and it's not. It's of the devil. So you have to have good discernment. You have to have a good relationship with the Lord because you cannot always trust what other Christians tell you. I mean, obviously, find a good church with a good pastor and all of that, but nobody's perfect. Christian, not Satan can use a Christian to lead you astray. He definitely can. So always test everything through the Lord. This person, this thing they're telling me, is it good? Is it good? That's always, you should always be doing that. So yeah, don't know what else to add to that. We're just talking about Satan's character. Let's see. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3 verse 8. So that was John 8:44. John chapter 8 verse 44. As always, I list the verses in the description. So if you ever want to, one good way is to follow along, read the verses yourself. 1 John chapter 3 verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. So he that committeth sin is of the devil. From the devil. So once again, he's not always talking about the devil specifically. He's using it to insult people not doing right, or just to call them out, not necessarily just to insult them just from out of nowhere, but like to literally call them out, like, no, you're of the devil, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So he says, for this purpose the Son of God was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. So that's pretty strong. So that's why Jesus came to earth, is to get rid of that sin. And it calls the devil, the original sinner. The father of sin, and it's passed on to us, unfortunately. Passed on to Adam and Eve, and then it passed on to us. So that's why Jesus Christ came to the earth, to get rid of that, to crucify that sin on the cross, to crucify it. So anyway, all of that just says, like, devil's, murderer, liar, sinner. I don't think I'm telling you anything you didn't know, but I have verses, verse in the Bible, because people will say stuff like, oh yeah, I know that's in the Bible, and it's like, do you have a verse? Do you know that's in the Bible? Because a lot of people claim stuff's in the Bible that's not in the Bible, because they don't know the Bible. So they'll claim lots of things. Let's see, Matthew chapter 4 verse 1. Okay, Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4 verse 1 all the way to verse 11. So this is kind of a long passage. So verse 1 to verse 11. Let's see. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, the angels came and ministered unto him. So yeah, this is kind of a long passage, but it's one a lot of people should be familiar with. It's when the devil tried to tempt Jesus, which seems really dumb, honestly, that like the devil would tempt God to sin against God. It's just weird. Like I really don't quite understand Satan's reasoning. As intelligent as Satan was and smart, I don't know why he thought that would work. I have no idea. Every intelligent person does stupid stuff sometimes. Solomon had 1,000 wives. That was incredibly stupid. So maybe Satan has his off days too. This would definitely be a bit of an off day for Satan. And he was the one that decided he could sin against God and that he would win. Which that was his first really dumb thing to do, is to sin against God, bring sin into the world, and think he could defeat God, and that he managed to get 1/3 of the angels to agree with him, with the devil. So he's very charismatic leader. So he somehow made it work, but he lost. So that was his first dumb act. So even someone as wise and intelligent as Satan does stupid stuff periodically. So, and that would have been the very first dumb thing he did, was try to take over heaven, try to win a war against God. So here he has another bad day, trying to tempt God against God. I don't really fully comprehend that. So, maybe he knows something I don't. I don't know. I don't know why Satan thought that he could get away with that. But anyway, so this passage just shows Satan is a tempter. He tries to tempt God, or just tempt people in general. So he's very good at tempting you. He's gonna deceive you, and he's gonna do it with things that you find attractive. He's not going to tempt you with something that you are immune to or you don't care about. He's gonna find your weak point. He's gonna find a hole in your armor, a chink in your armor, and he's gonna prod you. He's gonna poke you in the weak spot. He's gonna keep attacking that weak spot. That's the devil. So don't underestimate him. So yeah, we're just continuing discussing his personality here. Let's see. Now we have Job chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. So these are just different characteristics of Satan, and he is mentioned in the Bible quite a lot because he's Satan after all. Job chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Okay, very important passage here. So first of all, I'm gonna stay on topic first and talk about the part about Satan that's on topic, but then I want to go on and mention something else that's also very important from this passage actually, and this is going to bring up my point why it's important to carefully read the Bible and understand and use the Bible's definitions for itself, because this is a passage that is commonly misquoted and misunderstood, and it is taught wrong in probably just about every Bible college, because scholars just do not understand this verse, even though the Bible clearly defines it, what this topic is. So anyway, before I get to that, because that might go off topic a little bit, let me talk about specifically verse 7. So Satan wants to destroy you. That's important to understand. Satan wants to destroy you. The Lord asked Satan, like, whence comest thou? Like, which is just a sort of a rhetorical question in a way. Like, I mean, it's not like God knows. God knows where Satan's been. God's just asking Satan to answer the question. Kind of like, when God asked Adam, like, hey, where are you? Like, and it's like, he's asking these questions of Adam, and Adam's like lying and he's deceiving, and it's not like God doesn't know. God already knows that Adam and Eve sinned. He already knows all of that. But he still asks. He wants you to understand what you did. He wants you to understand. And so here he's asking Satan something that he already knows the answer to. Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it. So that's what Satan does. He's literally goes around the planet, goes around, walks, and just tempts people. He's everywhere. Satan's everywhere. So like God's everywhere, right? God's omnipresent, omniscient, everything. Satan, yeah, I don't know. Like he's everywhere too. He probably has his minions and his workers, his devils. God has his angels doing stuff. Satan's gonna have his angels or his minions doing stuff. His devils going around doing stuff, and so Satan's gonna be everywhere, and he's gonna find some way to tempt you. That's why there's like all this wickedness on the planet, and so he goes everywhere. He's just everywhere, carefully walking around the planet, and the Bible says he's like a roaring lion seeking whom to devour. And that's a summary of the devil. He's going to go around and trying to find someone to devour, find out who's weak. He preys on the weak. The devil's going to prey on the weak. He's going to find who's weak and he's going to attack them, which is why you need God. You need God's armor on you, because that way you can fight off the devil, his fiery darts. So that's basically what I was talking about, is that, Satan wants to destroy. That is how wicked and how evil he is. He's going to deliberately try to attack you and destroy you. Okay, now I got one more. Now so I talked about the main topic. Now, verse 6. Verse 6 is very important. I'm going to go a little off topic, but this is very important, actually. Verse 6, so Job 1:6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Okay, so here in Job 1:6, very important verse, mark this down because people are going to mess this verse up all the time, especially Bible scholars. It says, the sons of God came before the Lord, the sons of God. Now, in Genesis 6, it talks about the sons of God that came down to earth and married women and all that. And a lot of Bible scholars will say that this is the godly line of Seth, and that the sons of God are just humans. They're just men. That's what the sons of God are, which is not true, which is a very bad, shallow, very, just shows a complete lack of depth of knowledge of the Bible right there. Okay, so the sons of God, yes, it does sound at first like that's just talking about humans, but no, the sons of God are angels. That's what sons of God are. That is the biblical definition of a son of God. If you see son of God, it is referring to angels. In the Old Testament specifically, if you ever see the word sons of God in the Bible, so let's just start with the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it literally always means angels. So just, you can look up every reference. Let's go to, it always means angels. And in the context here, you can see that. Like, they're coming up with Satan. These are not humans, men, standing before God, which you can't do. You cannot stand before God. You're going to burn alive. So this is how they understand. The Bible scholars understand this: that men are coming up to God, and then Satan is with them. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense at all. That is not what's going on here. These are angels standing before God, and Satan is there talking to God along, and then there's all these angels there. Okay, this is heaven. Okay, this is not somewhere humans have access to. So completely just destroys that argument about the sons of God being the godly line of Seth. That argument makes absolutely no sense. It is so easily disproven in the Bible, and the reason why people go along with it is just tradition. I bet what I'm saying here sounds new to most people, and yet it's literally in the Bible, and the Bible defines itself. So this is why it's so important to study the Bible, because if you do, you'll understand certain things that you'll never hear from most people, because they just go off of tradition. You know, someone said something and everybody believes this person and nobody argues with them, even though that person is completely wrong. And this is just a really good example of that. So if you understand this actually opens up a lot of other verses in the Bible. It helps to understand a lot of things better. But the sons of God is literally referring to angels. Now in the New Testament, it says that we shall be like sons of God. Now that's a future thing. So right now, you could say we're the sons of God, but that's like a future thing. You know, the sons of God title, that's an angelic body. So in heaven, if you're saved, you will have an angelic body, and you like a son of God, so you'll have an angelic body, a spiritual body, which you do not have right now. So sons of God is a literal definition for angel. Literally means the same thing. So this is just something good to understand. Also, in the context, it should be pretty obvious that this is referring to angels and not men, human men standing before God, which makes absolutely no sense at all. So anyway, I went a little off topic, but that is an important point, and this opens up the whole thing about the sons of God mingling with women and them having giants and children with supernatural powers. That opens up so much more in the Bible and helps to understand just a lot of stuff in general. But because that verse is misunderstood, it closes off all that extra knowledge that you could have had if you understood the verse properly. So just keep in mind, just because one little verse is misinterpreted, you could be blocking yourself from additional revelation of something very important. So anyway, just keep that in mind. So anyway, that's Job 1, 6 and 7. And then finally, let me just mention one more verse before I finish this video. Hebrews chapter 2. So yeah, that was Job chapters 1, verses 6 and 7. Very good passage to understand Satan and to just understand, what is a son of God. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil. So he's very powerful. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself took part of the same, though through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil. So, right, so the devil is very powerful. It says he has the power of death. So, yeah, the devil is powerful. You know, we shouldn't underestimate him. God is more powerful. You know, God is the most powerful entity. And then, I mean, I don't know if it's accurate to say the devil's the second most powerful entity. I don't know if that's a proper way to say it. But if he is, now the power gap is still huge. You know, God's power is going to override Satan's power no matter what. So it's a distant second. Satan is a distant second in terms of like power in the universe. But it does say he has the power of death, which is very powerful. So that's why Jesus had to die. He had to destroy. He had to, it actually says in the Revelation, death is going to get cast into the lake of fire. So death is going to be destroyed, like the physical embodiment of death. Like just blows my mind, like what that even means. But yeah, so the devil is a very powerful individual, and that's why Jesus had to come to the earth and destroy and defeat sin that had the power of death. So anyway, I brought up a lot of verses. So these were all just I brought up a lot of verses. These are all just categorizing Satan, talking about how powerful he is, different qualities. I mean, we all just kind of know he's just evil, right? Just most evil person, malicious. Just tries to destroy everything. He's not your friend. Okay, Satan is not your friend. He is the anti-friend. He is the biggest enemy you could possibly have. He will. His sole desire is to take as many people to hell with him as possible. That is Satan's sole desire. And that's a very toxic personality, malicious, evil personality. When someone is suffering and their only happiness is to drag down other people, make them as miserable as them. And that's basically Satan's life goal, is to make other people miserable as him, and evil. So that's his sole joy. Uh, he's going to try to get worship from people, and then he's going to try to damn people. He's not your friend. He will damn you. He'll destroy you. Sin is not your friend. Sin will destroy you and damn you. So anyway, I think this ends the video. That was just my first point. So it took me, like 3 or 4 videos just to finish that, my first point about Satan's existence and personality. Next time I'll be talking about his power, his place in his power. So that's gonna be a while it's gonna be a while before I finish this video series. Plus, I'm also gonna take a bit of a break. I'm gonna release some shorts, some shorter videos that are like 1 minute. I'm gonna try to boost the channel's growth somehow with making shorter videos, because people aren't really watching the long 30-minute videos. I think they're great. I think maybe there's some people out there that like to watch these videos that are 20, 30 minutes long, but apparently YouTube hasn't recommended my videos to those people yet. Maybe they'll be there eventually, I know there's a need for this. I know there's people that are interested in this stuff, but I haven't reached those people yet. So for now, I'm going to try to boost the channel's growth by making like shorter 1-minute videos, and see what happens. So I'm going to take a break maybe, but I will keep working on these, but it'll probably be at a slower pace than usual. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you next time.